Welcome back to another installment of Professor Charles's Law. Shooby-doo-doo-doo. Oh, yeah. Hello, guys. Welcome back to another installment of Professor Charles S. Live. And today is the final episode of the Falcon and Winter Soldier One World, One People. This episode starts off really interesting, and also, by the way, I need to tell you this is gonna probably be a lengthy video, so hang in there with me, guys. There's a lot to talk about in this episode. So, first off in this episode, it starts off with Bucky, also known as Winter Soldier, pretty much teaming up with Sharon, also known as Peggy's Carter's niece, great niece at that. Trying to stop Carly. So pretty much Bucky is now kind of in charge to stop the Flash Smashers and Carly's one world and one domination type of thing where we all come together. In this episode, there are a lot of different things going on. Let's talk about the meat and bones of it. Really, we see that Falcon has a new outfit and some new wings. Yo, bro, you got the new wings from Wakanda, bro. And we can see Sam, also known as Falcon, with his new wings, new suit. I was like, this is really neat. I love the new suit. I was like, yes, this looks like how I did in the comic books. But also I like that the suit was very interesting. It wasn't too much of a, well, maybe it was a slight difference when it came to certain things, but I like what they did with the suits. He's, your man's with the shield. He's fighting a Flash Smasher, and pretty much in this episode, we see Bucky and Sharon kind of, doing things to stop pretty much Carly and the other Flash Smashers. But also, we see John Walker return. Boy, John Walker was like, look, my friend got killed, Lamar. I'm not going to hold up. I'm not letting down. We see him help. And in this episode, we see Carly fight not just Falcon, also John Walker, also Winter Soldier. And I think the fight that was the most interesting one between the three, John Walker, I thought for sure John Walker was going to kill Carly. Off beat. Literally, I was just like, bruh, if somebody don't stop this man, she's going to be dead, literally, with John Walker, because John Walker is for revenge. He's like, look, and it was weird because Carly like, look, I apologize. I ain't mean to kill your buddy. He wasn't a part of the plan. And John Walker like, nah, fam, nah, you killed my homeboy, and now I want revenge, pretty much. And you're just like, uh-oh. Carly, you better run. And she got away, you know what I'm saying? Quick as nimble as she was, as the leader of the Flash Smashers, she found a way and a diversion for it to work. I like when she fought Winter Soldier, Bucky. That was an interesting battle. I wish there would have been a little bit more to it, but Bucky could hold his own. I did see that's okay, Bucky. Bucky, like, look, Super Soldier versus Super Soldier. I thought that was really neat. Same thing with John Walker, Super Soldier versus Carly. She's a Super Soldier. That was really neat. Now, the thing is with this episode, we see some other things too. We learn about who the power holder is. Let's talk about this briefly, and I'm going to get back into it later. But the power holder is pretty much, Raggy? Is Sharon. You said Sharon? Yes, Sharon Carter is pretty much the power holder. Now, when I first thought about this, I was like, it makes complete sense. Also, we learned a little bit more about Sharon in this episode as well. I thought was really neat. Sharon was pretty much the seed that sparked Carly for doing what she wanted to do. I guess she was probably supposed to have been Sharon's protege, I guess, doing things in Madripoor. And apparently, I guess it didn't work out the way it was supposed to, because when you see Sharon and her kind of, come across one another, it wasn't the best thing ever, so you could tell that there was tension amongst the two. And I was like, wow. But let's get back to this episode. So we see that Carly has got new people for her cause. You know, they tried to steal something. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's like maybe, I want to say it was money because it looked like we're in the armored truck, so it's definitely probably money. But also we see that some of Carly's Flash Smashers taking L's this episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was sitting there saying to myself, like, boy, the Flash Smashers taking L's this episode. And I think with Carly trying to build an army for her causes. We also understand Carly a little bit more in this episode. I think with Carly being labeled a refugee, terrorist, you know, all these different things, you start to understand why Carly is the way she is, not just her issue that she has with, like I said, Sarah Carter, pretty much. And I'm just like, I meant to say Sharon, excuse me, Sharon Carter. And I'm just like, oh, okay, now I get why she is the way she is. She feels like the world's kind of against her. It's like Carly against the world type of mentality, because she feels like the people that are in governments are not trying to help her country. She's felt betrayed by the heroes. She doesn't still trust Sam as being Falcon. But also we see that Carly has other things going on too. I like how she divides her team up. You know what I'm saying? And it was really interesting how she divided her team up. Pretty much she had the hitman apparently that was supposed to kill Falcon. He didn't quite do that because he was working for Sharon Carter. And I'm just like, bruh. I was like, yep. I'm like, and it was so funny because it had like one of those moments like, ha, got him. I know Carly was like, shot like, wait a minute, she hired you? You spying? You know, you hired him as a spy, not a, you know, hitman. And I love how the hitman's like, yo, like, hey, either you gonna help me or I'm gonna team up with Carly. I love how he kind of just was like, look, he like, I want more money. You know what I'm saying? You had me going, you know, chasing down her and all this stuff and figuring out where she was at. He like, I want some more money. And Sharon's like, oh, nah, bro, I ain't give you no more money. And you can see that Sharon, like, she pulled out the gun and killed him. And I thought she was going to kill Carly at first. I'm like, she going to kill Carly? Or she going to kill the guy that she hired? You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing. We see Bucky and John Walker team up. That was interesting. You know what I'm saying? And in that aspect of it, because we learned, you know, John Walker wasn't necessarily too fond of Bucky and Falcon, you know, so you see he puts his differences aside, works with them. They catch the remaining Flash Smashers. They get arrested and everything. Also, we see a heroic moment with Falcon when he gets his new Wakanda wings. I'm calling them that now. Literally, we see him fly and save this truck where all these people were hostages due to Carly holding them hostages that were in this pretty much this armored truck. I'm assuming they were like Senate and government officials because that's what Carly was against. She wanted to tear that down pretty much. But also we see Sam. I love how he when he has the new suit, he has the other little birds that it comes with the suit, and he's like trying to save the truck, and you know he has a superhero moment where he's like, and then he boosts it. I was like, yo, like this episode, it was crazy, and I love how he was able to save him because Bucky wasn't able to save the truck because when he fought Carly, he had fell down where they were at, so the truck almost crushed him, literally, and I was like, ugh. I was worried about that, but thing is, we see that, the thing is, when Sharon revealed herself as the power broker, I'm like, I was like, now it makes complete sense, like the lavish living, the parties, I'm like, oh, bro, that's how she making her money, like, she's pretty much auctioning off these different items and stuff, and knows all these different people that are in Madripoor due to that, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, Okay, Sharon. We see how cunning you are. And the thing is, we see when Falcon fights, well, not Falcon, new Captain America, let me just say that, the black Captain America versus Carly. And this was interesting because he's like, look, I'm not trying to fight you. You know, Carly was like, fight me, fight me. You see her trying to punch the shield. He's dodging her moves and everything. And you really start to understand, like, he really sees good in Carly. And maybe Zemo was right after all. Zemo's like, yo, you see too much good in her. It's going to cloud your judgment. And Zemo was absolutely right. And I was like, okay, Zemo has a point. Like, maybe he's giving himself too much credit. And then literally he's like, yo, you're going to get sideswiped by this. Literally meaning that you're going to like see the good in her and you're not going to want to fight her. And we saw that. He's like, look, I don't want to fight you or anything. And boy, Sharon got injured. But boy, let me tell you this. Sharon was like, I'm tired of this. Sharon pulled out the gun and shoot her like, pop, pop. I'm like, oh. I'm like, uh-oh. And we see literally Sam, you know, saying his final goodbyes to Carly. And we can see Carly being more sympathetic and showing her empathy. She's like, I'm sorry, you know. And I'm like, it's too late now, you know what I'm saying? But we know why Sharon killed Carly, because she's the power broker, duh. And the thing is, she's got a bounty on her head probably too. So like if she would have kept Carly alive, let's be honest about this situation, Carly would have been a problem from the jump. It would have just still been a problem because Carly's like, oh, I know you're the power broker. Now people are going to try to, you know, have her as a target. And now she's got to watch her back constantly. So that's why she killed Carly, because she's like, oh no, I can't let my little secret come out, because she killed the hitman that was supposed to kill Falcon. So yeah, Sharon is ruthless. We see in this episode. I'm like, dang, you know, and you often wonder why. It's because the things she had to do to survive, it was a survival tactics. You know what I'm saying? Survival of the fittest. So that's why Sharon did what she did. But let's get back to this episode. So also in this episode, we see the resolutions. Let's talk about all the different resolutions that we saw in this episode. First off, we see that pretty much Sam, also known as Falcon, new Captain America, pretty much telling the government officials in the Senate, he said, what are you going to do to stop people from being like Carly? Even though Carly's dead, there will be others that will try to do the same thing she will do, but it will be in like worser numbers. And just his distrust, because remember Isaiah, the other super soldier, he felt like he didn't want to be, you know what I'm saying, he was discriminated against. He was pretty much experimented on. And Falcon was like pretty much, also aka the new Captain America, was like, yo, like, what are you guys gonna do to change this from happening again? You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, yes, you know, you can tell people you're gonna do things, but if you're not about the power and putting forth that effort, then it's not going to change the system. And it talks about the things with like politicians and government. And I was like, this got a little bit more serious than the last episode. I'm like, wait a minute, this is Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Hold up. And it talks about the problems with sometimes governments and stuff like that, and how they treat people globally, whether they're refugees, terrorists, thugs. And pretty much Sam was like, look, maybe we need to stop calling them that. Maybe this is why they feel the way they feel. And we can see Sam showing empathy to the senator of New York. And I was like, wow, like this is like woo. There's a lot in this episode. But also in this episode, we see Zemo. Zemo's in the Wakanda prison. And, you know, he gets the word that the Flash Smashers are dead. He's looking at his phone. Someone tells him that, yo, they're all dead. And someone kills the Flash Smashers. It looked like the other Captain America. If you guys could tell me, was that the other Captain America? Because that's what it looked like. I was like, hold up. Am I seeing things? But yes, we saw that, and Zemo. You can see Zemo was happy about it. That was his whole thing. He was trying to kill the super soldiers in the first place. He's like, hey, I'm not trying to, keep these super soldiers alive. I mean, even he wanted to kill his previous partner, Bucky, also known as Winter Soldier. I'm like, bruh, you just don't have a heart, bruh. You know what I'm saying? But also we see in this episode, John Walker. John Walker gets a new alias, you know what I'm saying? And he's become the U.S. agent. That is his new thing. Now I'm like, yo, bro, just like, all right, I helped out in Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's time for me to, go on and do my thing. And we can see he's being hired by this lady that we seen. I still don't know who she is. And I'm just like, yo, and I love the new suit. The new suit, I'm like, this is dope. And it seems like he gets rid of the shield. Remember, he has the actual cap shield that he made, but it looks like he's got rid of the shield. His wife likes the new suit, and the lady that's hiring him is saying, yeah, we got a new job for you. And I'm like, I like the resolution with John Walker. The other resolution in this episode, which I thought was really great, that worked with this episode, let me just say this. I love what they did for Isaiah. Isaiah was the other super soldier, the black super soldier that was kept a secret from the society in the U.S. And I love how Sam pays him a visit. And, he's like, you can see that he appreciates Sam a little bit more. And Sam said, hey, look, I got a surprise. He takes him to the museum where they have the Captain America paraphernalia. And literally there is an area for Isaiah Bradley for being a soldier for this country and not being forgotten. And I love how he appreciated Sam did that for him. And you can see just the appreciation and how he valued Sam, because how they started up wasn't quite the best type of relationship thanks to Bucky. So that was the other thing. The next piece of this actual thing was with Bucky. I love what they did with Bucky. Bucky finally confessing to the man that he had bonded with. He said, yo, look, I killed your son. And the thing was, you could see that he said, well, why are you here? He's like, well, I'm the one that killed your son. And he kind of explains what happened to him. I think at that point in Bucky's life, he was brainwashed by Hydra. So he had no choice but to kill his targets. You know what I'm saying? And we can see Bucky going to his house, him leaving. And, it's pretty much maybe the sin that's left off his shoulders, because he has told this guy, like, look, this is what I did. I know it was wrong and everything. But also we see Bucky come across his love interest, the girl that he had a romantic interest. I mean, yeah, he had a thing for Sam's sister too. But the other girl that he had an interest in that was Chinese. And you see her in a shot with the man that Bucky killed his son. And you see her, and literally Bucky disappears. Like, Bucky's like, look, I don't want her to be attached to me, it seems like. Like, Bucky's trying to move forward to a new life. And I can understand that sometimes, you're old, you have to start over again. And the thing was, Bucky probably didn't want her to be involved in this life. And that's understandable. Also, let's talk about Sam. We see Sam going back to Louisiana with his family. And the thing is, we see Bucky, come and show him some, appreciation and everything. Him helping his sister out also. Him and his nephews. I love how Bucky had his nephews on his arm, the metal arm and stuff. I thought that was really cool. And just him being around the people that he grew up with in the community. His family, friends of the family. People that admire him as a hero and everything. So I thought that was really neat that they celebrated that aspect of it. But let's get to the last part of this. I know it's going to be a long one, guys. But the thing is now, let's talk about this too as well. The post-credit scene. So yes, Marvel, even not just with their movies, their TV shows, there's a post-credit scene. And in this post-credit scene, we see Sharon getting rehired by the government. She's like, yo, look, it's like, look, the senator that pretty much the new Cap talked to said, yo, look, you can get your job back. We can, get you back citizenship and everything. And Sharon is like, yeah, sure. I'll go back as, as a Carter, because her family was known for being agents, and she got her actual old job back and everything. But something's off about Sharon. Sharon is still having ties with Madripoor. And she's like, yeah, I can give you all these government documents and, just these weapons and everything. And I said, I think Sharon's definitely going to be the villain for season 2 of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it seems like the post-credit scene kind of gave you an idea that Sharon is not the same Sharon we were familiar with when she was in the Captain America 2 movie. And I was like, and you can see just the smirk on her face, her on the phone, talking to her cadets and Madripoor, because after all, she is still the power broker, and no one knows that. So that's why she killed Carly. She killed the hitman, because no one knows that she's the bitch, she's the head honcho. But I gotta say, this episode tied up everything I asked for with the show. Bucky's resolution to telling the man that he killed his father, Isaiah being appreciated by the nation, Falcon pretty much learning how to adapt to his new cool suit. I was like, this suit is really dope. Also, pretty much Sharon learning how treacherous she is and how conniving. They think they know Sharon. They probably won't know Sharon until the next season, But I like that. Maybe Carly, maybe being the reason why she was the way she was. We learned that Carly had ties to Sharon that I had no clue of. I'm like, really? But I think this episode summed up everything. I like what they did with it. I think, for it to be a mini series, to have 6 episodes, this show flowed really well. It wasn't super cheesy like superhero show where friends come together. But I really like what they did with it. The story, learning about Bucky's past and everything. And like I said, Ethan, there's a scene I forgot to mention. There's one scene where Bucky gives the book up that Steve gave him, Steve Rogers, the previous Captain America. And he has his whole list. Even Zemo's on the hit list, even though he didn't kill Zemo. And we can see that he's done with his whole life. He's no longer thinking about being brainwashed by Hydra or having flashbacks to the psychiatrist. He gave her the book back. And I was like, all right, Bucky. But guys, have you seen the latest episode of the Falcon and Winter Soldier? You tell me in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this review. I know it's a little bit longer than usual. But until next time, guys, I am out. Subscribe, comment, like. Thanks for watching.